What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and talk about why on earth there is a very important warning I have for you guys about its future, because something very big is coming to the market and it is going to affect NIO, the sentiment of the market, the futures, and everything together very, very soon. Now, before I break anything down about what this warning is, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. And the best part is, out of these 12 free stocks, you can always sell them for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. It essentially is free money. Check it out before the offer ends in just a week and a half. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So NIO is currently, it was a bit down the last time we saw it, but I want to talk about something else very important that's going on in the markets, at least at the time I'm recording this. So right now the market is still pretty neutral, but the thing is, I do think we're getting closer to the fearful side, because if we look at SPY, there are some big changes to come. Now, before I show you guys SPY, check this out right here. Let me first do this. Sorry about that. If we look at this data right here, I have a lot of data about NIO right over here, from its market cap to its PE ratio and so on and so forth. But check this out right here. Right here, where my cursor is, we have the price comparison between NIO and the SPY. And you guys are going to notice, look at this trend. We had this drop, both SPY and NIO were down. Then we had this big push up from SPY and NIO. The white one was NIO. NIO started dumping with a lot of the small and mid caps. They actually started dropping first, and many of the mega caps were actually holding up very well. So that helped SPY hold up. But you'll notice that NIO started dropping first, but then it started this downtrend, and SPY ended up going down too. Right here, we had a big bounce. Both NIO and SPY followed each other. Then we got a rejection, same time, big drop. Then NIO started to push up as the SPY started to dump. SPY did dump more, but NIO continued to push up after some very strong data. And then since then, the SPY did actually push up, and NIO has been it's been holding up pretty well, but starting to downtrend after a lot of difficulties in China. And right now, it's looking like the SPY is going to take a bit of a hit soon. And I really believe this is going to actually cause NIO to take a bit of a hit soon too. Now, why am I saying this? Well, first thing we have to look at is this right here. We have the FOMC meeting coming from September 20th and the 21st, and the big day is the 21st. And the Fed is going to be a lot more hawkish because they still have to deal with inflation, but the Fed is debating between how hawkish they're going to be. Now, inflation, it came out at 8.5%, so that's really high. So the Fed may end up being aggressive, and we know when the Fed becomes aggressive with the hikes, the market tends to not like that because the cost to borrow goes up. We tend to see things get hit even harder, and we are starting to see other factors that are playing in for NIO as well. So right here, there are lots of FUD articles coming out. I understand that, but there is truth behind many of them. And that's the fact that not only is the Fed a lot more hawkish, but we may actually see what they're doing have an effect on the overall economy. And then we're also seeing a lot of earnings in China, lots of big tech companies, lots of big real estate companies. They're getting lots and lots of hits. All right, because China is going through a very hard time right now. I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for everyone that's actually affected, a lot of the good people there. And the thing about that is, look, many different people have different ideas, different thoughts, and maybe there are tensions between the US and China, completely normal, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean NIO is a bad company for that reason. And in addition to that, what's going on in China is going to affect NIO. So right now, we're seeing a big hit in the real estate sector in China. We're seeing a lot of businesses and banks losing tons of money. Lots of people are just waiting in line, and they don't even have the cash. I mean, it's a very tough situation that they are entering. Their economy is collapsing. And when things like this happen, it's going to have a negative effect on a lot of companies. It's going to have a negative effect on the US as well. And I could actually see this cause at least be somewhat of a catalyst to push us down if things get really, really out of hand as it starts affecting supply chains. But what I really see as the biggest factor would be the Fed. So this is another factor, the Fed causing the SPY to drop. And we know when the SPY tends to drop hard, NIO tends to follow it. We could see this similar trend. There was a bit divergence near the last month or so, but besides that, very, very similar. Now, anyways, when it comes to NIO, what does this mean? Well, SPY is pretty shaky right now up here. I do see the SPY. It can push up a little more, but I do see a big rejection coming, and I do see the SPY coming all the way down, filling the gap down and coming to the low 400s, maybe even lower. We could see the SPY continue to plummet to the high 300s. That's also possible. I wouldn't be surprised. With that said, because I'm saying that, guys, how is this going to affect NIO? Well, the answer is NIO is probably going to start coming down too within the next, I would say, month or so. How low will NIO go? The thing is, when it comes to gaps, they don't always have to get filled, but more than 90% of the time they do. And if there are gaps like way down there at like $5, $4, we don't have to worry about those. I don't see NIO going that low. But there are some gaps that aren't extremely far from us. We have a gap down here in the 15s. I do believe NIO might actually fill this gap. It's actually like the 15 to 16 range. There's another one like really down there by like $13 a share. There's no guarantee that gets filled, guys, right? It may get filled, may not, but it is possible for it to get filled. So I do see this thing coming down to the 16s within the next month, month and a half. And it's very unfortunate for me to say that. That's just my opinion. And I feel this way because the market is most likely set for some potential downside. Probably going to happen because of different catalysts out there, different factors that it's not entirely like the market's fault. They're just external things that will affect it. There are also lots of hardships in China due to what's happening in the virus. So, like I said, people have different views. I understand that. But at the end of the day, we're all humans and we can't generalize all people based off a few sets of information. There are great people all over the world. I wish the best for all of them. And for NIO in particular, great company. I'm very bullish for its long term. I see this thing going to hundreds of dollars a share over the next few years. For the short term, though, I think the market has some room for red. I don't think the market's going to go to like new lows for the year or anything like that, but I do see NIO coming down. All right. So I want to warn you guys now. It might not look like it next week, but later on, as we approach the month of September, I see it coming. I think it's very likely it will. This whole thing is kind of like a distribution pattern. Now, non-financial advice, by the way, do what you have to do what you want to do your own research. This is just what I'm seeing in the trend. And it's my honest opinion for not next week, not like tomorrow. I'm talking about, a month out, a month and a half out. All right. So the best thing to do is remain calm, cool, and collected. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let anyone take advantage of you, especially in the markets. If you become too emotional, you could end up making very, very bad decisions. So set your emotions aside, put a logic on top, stay cool, calm, cool, and collected, and do what you have to do. I'm just warning you about what's the most likely outcome. Can I guarantee NIO is going to come down? No, nothing in the market is guaranteed, okay? But I find it very likely based off all the factors I'm naming, from what's going on in China to the Fed to the SPY, the overall market, the change in sentiment. All these things are pointing in that direction. All right, I want you guys to be prepared. With that said and done, thank you all so much for listening. Please have an absolutely fantastic rest of the day. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. NIO to the moon, because the long-term future is still very, very bright. So no matter where it goes to, it's still amazing. Just give the company time, and it will flourish. NIO to the moon, and peace out.